patch 128 has dropped and it's completely changed PvP in DayZ, and it's done some things that, well, none of us really saw coming. And here I'm going to reveal so much that by the end of it you might actually need to contact an adult. If you liked the video, please leave a like or a subscribe, it really helps me out. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So I broke the server so I could test the car, and this is not going to plan. I'll add a timestamp for the Sakhal updates and the general game update so you can skip wherever you want. Let's start with the dynamic events on the Frostline expansion, because these are changing the whole feel of exploration in Sakhal. First up, helicopter crashes. These events, similar to Chernarus and Livonia, now spawn dynamically across the map, but some of the potential spawn locations are actually really cool, so make sure to keep a lookout. Then we have the medical vans. This one's actually really interesting. These sites can spawn pretty much anywhere in the main island and drop medical gear, things like morphine, IV kits. Sometimes it seems even protective clothing. And although I didn't find any surrounded by infected right now, supposedly when it hits stable they will be around it as well. It's definitely a cool addition in Sakhal, and it's definitely a useful spawn, but the most useful spawns in my opinion, and from the few hours I've spent with it, has been both the fishing boat crashes and the military patrol boat. Now let's start with the latter. This boat, similar to the helicopter, can spawn lots of military gear, and no, you can't drive or sail these boats anywhere. They are stationary, you have to climb on top of them, and they can spawn closer to the island or a little bit out to the island on the ice caps. But keep in mind, I didn't really find a way to access them without jumping in the water, so they do come with a bit of a risk. But my favorite and probably the most useful out of all of these, if you don't want to specifically engage in PvP, is definitely the crashed boats, and that's because they offer so much diverse loot. There's so much survival gear here, and hitting a few of them gave me some really good supplies. So if you're looking to survive, this is definitely the one you need to be looking for, and you don't have to get wet to access them if you can safely get on an ice cap. They've also added some geysers, which is cool, but there's no actual benefit to them that I can see, and they've also changed the inside of caves, giving them a really cool ambient sound. But now let's focus on the entire game, not just the Frostline expansion and what has been added to that. Now available is the rack. It's a 380 full auto SMG style rifle with a 15 or 25 round mag. It spawns in police stations, and if you remember the old version in the game, this one feels more rounded but probably less powerful. It's got a satisfying recoil pattern and a really clean sound profile now too, and when you're out of ammo you can actually tell because the gun changes. In addition to this, it has a really cool animation for reloading. Now you know I love the DayZ's attention to detail when it comes to reloading, and this just doesn't disappoint. They also added some scopes, so starting with the PSO6 scope, which was added this patch as well, and I did a side-by-side comparison with the standard PSO and the PSO6, which you can see here, and the PSO6 is noticeably clearer with a much cleaner reticle line and better visibility at range. If you're running a platform and want to snipe, this is probably now going to be your go-to. We also got the Sport Point sight, a civilian 2x optic. It's comparable to the hunting scope, but a little more available and slightly less zoom. Still great for mid-tier weapons, and it's definitely good to see more sight variety in game. And obviously you have the Leopold Mark IV, which also deserves a mention. And in addition to this, the rangefinder is now completely different. New visuals, cleaner HUD, and just an all-round better look. It used to look quite clunky, as you can see here, but the new version is definitely much better. But one of the big things that caught me off guard was how much better car handling actually feels. Service syncing for vehicles has been reworked, and it's closer now to the armor model, which they did say when they announced it the other day. But the difference is very noticeable, and I'll probably be doing a big deep dive into whether or not it's actually fixed the cars, but as far as I can see, it's certainly made a huge difference. But I did say PvP had completely changed, and I'm about to explain why, because again, this is something that I just didn't expect. So let's start with the change we actually knew about. First of all, the weapon obstruction system has been updated. When you're too close to a wall, your weapon still raises, but the animation now lets you react quicker. You can actually hip fire instead of just staring at your barrel. But a few other changes you definitely need to know about, because they will be affecting you, is the global weapon sway, which has been reduced slightly, especially when prone. So if you lie prone now, you can get a much better shot. Tail sounds for sniper rifles and SMGs have been adjusted. They now feel more punch punchy, especially in open areas. There's a slight increase in weapon recoil across most rifles, but it's not too harsh. It's mostly to balance automatic fire, or at least that's how it feels. Dispersion has also been moderately increased for certain guns, and muzzle flash has been reduced, making it easier to see your target during sustained fire. They've also slightly reduced the volume of player footsteps and restored the infected footstep range, meaning you won't be able to hear them from 4 churches away. Either way, these are changes you are gonna absolutely feel if you jump into PvP. But if you want more DayZ content, click here, or for something else, click here. And as always, until next time.